October. Peter, the class clown. I never ever had something in school excite me before, but the plant unit we did with Mr. T had me fired up. We grew these bean plants from seeds, and once they got big enough, we started doing different tests with them. Variables, Mr. T called them. First, we stuffed the plants in boxes with just a little tiny hole in the side, and we waited to see what the plants would do after a few days in the dark. Anna had a meltdown about it. "I don't want to put mine in a box," she cried. Mr. T had to take her out to the hall to calm her down. I was kind of shocked. Usually she doesn't say anything. What a weirdo, I thought. It's no wonder she doesn't have any friends. It's a good thing Danielle was her partner. She's the patient kind. Anyone else would have been fuming. My partner was Lexi, which was fine. She let me do what I wanted. Next, we put the plants on their side to see how they would grow. I couldn't believe it. The plants bent and still grew up toward the ceiling. That was pretty cool. But the best part was what we got to do in the end. Mr. T let us feed our plant any concoction we wanted to over the course of a week. There was just one rule. We couldn't use any ingredient that would spoil and stink up the classroom, like milk or something that wasn't good for us to breathe, like gas. There were some pretty wild concoctions. David and Nick used salad dressing because, according to them, plants make salad, so the plant will like the salad dressing. Brenda and Heather used orange juice mixed with ketchup and Pepto-Bismol. I don't know what they were thinking. Mine was the best, though. I brought in cat litter, used, soda, and a little maple syrup. I did my best to mix it together and feed it to my plant. Lexi wasn't really happy about my choice of ingredients. I didn't tell her I had peed in my soda bottle some, too. "Peter, you moron! This stuff is going to kill our plant," she whined. "Shut up. You never cared about the plant before," I said. "Well, I care now," she said. "Lexi, maple syrup comes from trees. I drink soda a lot, and I'm growing, and farmers put animal manure on their fields all the time. So zip it. It's gonna work." Our plant was dead in 2 days. Danielle and Anna did the best. Danielle used some natural ingredients her grandmother had taught her about, something the old-time farmers really did use, I guess. Danielle lives on a farm, so she had a big advantage. Her concoction worked, big time. She and Anna were the only ones to come up with a food that the plant liked. Anna was all smiles until Lexi said, "You're just lucky Danielle was your partner. She did everything." Then Lexi turned to me and added, "Even if she is fat." I don't think anyone else heard, but I laughed. I know I probably shouldn't have. Anna's smile disappeared, and she stared at the floor. Poor old Luke sure tried. I think he put too much brain power in it, and he's got a lot of brain power. He's been the smartest kid in school since kindergarten. His partner was Jeffrey, but he never does anything. He just let Luke take charge. Maybe he should have helped. "I've brought in a number of different ingredients," Luke said, "and they'll interact perfectly because of the electron balance and resulting bond formations." He even said something about a periodic table or some crazy thing. Well, you're never going to believe this, but Luke mixed his junk together and it started smoking. The next thing we knew, the stupid fire alarm was going off. The whole school had to go outside, and even the fire department showed up. It was great. Mr. T had to do some explaining, and after a while we were let back inside, but Luke wasn't performing any more experiments for us. Man, things were just so much fun with Mr. T. Luke, the brain. We moved from cool math right into wicked science. The only thing I didn't like about our science unit was that we had to have partners. I prefer to do my projects alone, but Mr. Terup teamed us up. We were working with plants, and he said we didn't have enough space for everyone to have their own. Jeffrey was my partner, which, believe it or not, worked out great because he let me do whatever I wanted. He didn't care. The only bad part was that he was always grumpy. Dollar word. We studied phototropisms by observing how our plant grew toward light after we stuffed it into a box that had only a tiny hole in its side. Then we studied geotropism by observing how our plant grew toward the ceiling. even after we tipped the plant on its side for a few days. And then we were given the opportunity to study a variable on our own. Mr. Terp told us to manipulate the plant's nourishment. Feed it whatever you want, he said. Make your own concoctions. Jeffrey left me alone. He hated school and everything about it. That day, I hurried home and studied my periodic table. I had received a special chemistry set last Christmas. Hydrogen and oxygen make a special bond when they come together to form water, so I figured I should try to recreate that special bond with whatever molecular, $word, ingredients I chose. I looked through the chemicals in my set and picked the ones that would result in the same type of electronic valence that occurred in the hydrogen and oxygen bond. I took my ingredients to school and got ready to measure and mix. Jeffrey was slightly interested at this point. Mr. Terp, on the other hand, appeared a little uneasy about the whole thing, but he never stopped me. Luke, sometimes when you mix chemicals, it can cause a reaction which then explodes, $word. I know, I said. Maybe we shouldn't mix these in the classroom without knowing what's going to happen, he said. It might not be safe. All these potions came from my chemistry set at home. My mom saw it. It's safe, I said, trying my best to convince Mr. Terp. I didn't tell Mom or Mr. Terp about the few ingredients I got from Dad's garage. I knew it would work. Hey guys, come and look at all the stuff Luke's mixing together, Chris yelled. I felt everyone gather behind me as I began mixing my substances together in a bowl. But before I could feed my plant, something happened. First, the bowl started feeling warmer, then hot. The potion turned dark green, then gray. It started bubbling, first slowly, then rapidly. I knew this was bad. Back up! Everybody, back up! Get away from it, Mr. Terp ordered. Smoke started billowing from my concoction. Then the screech of the fire alarm pounded against my ears. The only other thing I heard was Peter laughing. This is awesome, he yelled. Way to go, Lukester. Outside. Everybody outside, Mr. Terp ordered. I was done for. I was sure of it. Wrong again. Mr. Terp spoke to Mrs. Williams, and he took the blame for everything. He even stood up to the fire marshal who always walks through the building after an unannounced fire alarm. The marshal wanted our $words poster taken off the hallway walls. He claimed they were a fire hazard. Jeffrey thought this confrontation was a big deal. Did you see Terp say no to that guy? He said. He refused to take our posters down. I saw, I said, and I saw flashbacks of smoke pouring out of the bowl. I knew I wasn't ever going to be a botanist, $word. At least Jeffrey had gotten excited about something. I wish Mr. Terp hadn't trusted us so much. Maybe it was because he was a first-year teacher and didn't know better. But I don't think that was it. I think it's because of Mr. Terp being a special teacher. Jeffrey, the slacker. Luke was trying to feed our plant. I saw smoke rising. I knew that was going to happen. Terp did too, because I saw him go to the windows right away. Not fast enough, though. The alarm still went off. The whole school had to go outside because of Luke. When we came back in, some guy was walking down the hall with our janitors, Mr. Loomis and Mr. Ruddy. Terp sent us into the classroom, but he stayed in the hall. I hid by the door to listen. All of it, the man yelled. I want all of it off the walls. He was pointing at our math posters. Mr. Loomis looked at Terp. You heard him, he said. I'm not taking them down, Terp said. Do you know who this is? Mr. Ruddy said. This is the fire marshal. Terp said, I don't care who it is. I'm not taking them down. He looked at the fire marshal and said, You have no idea how hard my kids worked on these. He was pointing at our posters. He was pointing at my poster. It had one word on it, stupid, and it wasn't even a $word. All of a sudden, I felt bad because I hadn't tried on Terp's project. There were some more words said, but then the fire marshal left. The posters stayed. I hope he felt stupid. Terp came back to the room. Peter was out of his seat. Mr. T, you just told that guy off, Peter said, dancing around. That was awesome. No, I didn't, Terp said. Get in your seat. You shouldn't have seen that. But I saw it, and I heard it. Tearup stuck up for us. There's always posters up in the school halls, and they're never fire hazards. I think the fire marshal was just mad about our false alarm, and I think Tearup knew that too. He wasn't going to get pushed around. Our hard work mattered to Tearup, even mine. I owed him now. I had to try, even if only for a little.